The console that cannot be named. What's going on, guys and girls? It's Zach from SwitchForce, and after all those Switch Pro rumors, after all the back and forth, Nintendo themselves have finally responded, and we're here with a special weekend report, a good weekend Wario, if you will. I have to bring you the details even on a Saturday. Plus, if you shudder at the sound of Switch Pro, don't worry. We're also talking a newly leaked / confirmed Switch game that sounds super cool, and the head of Team Sonic is talking new details on his 2022 Sonic game, and it sounds pretty bold, for better or worse. So make sure to smash that like button and let me know in the comments down below what you think about these words. Now we're going to start with the leaked game because it's the quickest. Castlevania Advanced Collection popped up on the Australian ratings board, and we've seen people say like, ooh, we knew about this, and you know, when things pop up on these ratings boards, it's usually legitimate. It doesn't specifically say what platforms it's for, it just says it's going to be for multiple platforms. We have to imagine that this is coming to the Switch, especially because it would be chronicling the Castlevania games on Game Boy Advance, or at least that's what we can infer based on Castlevania Advanced Collection. So that would be Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, and Aria of Sorrow. Now, this is my favorite era of Castlevania personally, because I didn't get into the franchise too much in its early days, and the latter titles aren't my favorite, although I do hold a special place in my heart for Lords of Shadow because it's Mercury's theme. And look, hey, they're on screen right now with Metroid Dread. But let me know in the comments down below if you would be excited to grab a Castlevania Advanced Collection, provided it's at an acceptable price point. Doesn't seem like we're getting GBA on NSO anytime soon, so I like finding other ways to experience some of these handheld favorites, again, as long as the price is right. You, me, and the blue blur. We're going to be playing Sonic Colors Remastered on Switch in September. I'm real excited about that, but I'm also intrigued by this big new Sonic game coming in 2022. We know it's the next mainline entry for the franchise, and it's part of their anniversary celebration. Don't know much else. But today we got some new details from the head of Team Sonic himself, Takashi Iizuka, who says there is a lot I can't say yet about the title, but I do believe we will see an advancement in what a modern Sonic game can be. Now that might sound exciting, but for me it's a bit worrisome, because there were leaks a few weeks back talking about how this game was actually going to be called Sonic Rangers, and it was basically riffing off of Breath of the Wild and Ubisoft in not the greatest of ways. But let's continue with the comments. He says, of course, we will not deny the high-speed action that characterized previous modern Sonic games like Sonic Generations or Sonic Forces. Rather, we will create a title that our current gaming fans and new gamers will enjoy. So it does sound like they really want to kind of push the envelope and find a new era for Sonic. They want to maybe try a bunch of things that modern games do, throw them at the wall, and see what sticks. But when you're moving as fast as Sonic does, that sounds like a dangerous proposition. And if we're to believe the leaks, because it sort of sounds like this is all lining up, the people that played the game didn't feel like it was very fun. They described towers, Ubisoft style, opening the map, a bunch of boring side activities, and some kind of cool boss battles, but it did not sound like it came together very well. Now hopefully whatever they put out on store shelves in 2022 is a tighter product. I think Sonic has such a difficult task of merging what people love about the franchise from Sega Genesis days and trying to find a home and appeal to modern new gamers. That's exactly what head of Team Sonic is talking about. Like, how do we make this game modern to appeal to fans and new potential players? I don't know if they can do it, but I'm along for the ride. You know, the leak mentioned Sonic hanging out with humans again, which, I mean, it worked in the movie, so maybe we're gonna have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I'm just glad that we're getting a guaranteed good Sonic game in Sonic Colors, and you can definitely look forward to more coverage on the channel in September. Are you scared about a modernized Sonic? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, Switch Pro. This thing has been to and fro all around, and it did not get announced at E3. Of course, people were curious why we get all of these Bloomberg reports and leaks, and oh, it's entering production, and then Nintendo said nothing. Well, typically they don't speak on hardware at E3, but some good people at the Washington Post did ask Doug Bowser about what the heck is going on. Where is the Switch Pro? And before we get to his comments, I want to remind you of this quote from Shigeru Miyamoto 9 days before the 3DS XL was announced, okay? I really feel like I'm satisfied with the 3DS hardware as it is. I feel like it's the best for this generation. What we're thinking about right now is probably going to be for a future generation of handheld. Effectively addressing 3DS XL rumors and saying, nah, dude, we got nothing. 9 days later, they had something. So remember that when you hear Douglas's ideas. First off, Douglas said, as we enter our 5th year, Nintendo Switch really is redefining what a console lifecycle can look like and the vibrancy of that overall lifecycle with a strong cadence of content. President of Nintendo, he is really into the Switch, and it makes sense. I mean, the system is thriving, and Nintendo has said for a while they envision this as a console that could last 10 years. Some people have hinted that maybe Nintendo doesn't ever want the Switch era to end, that they're just going to keep iterating and iterating and iterating. So I mean, redefine might be a little far, but hey, they are industry leaders right now. Douglas goes on to say that, hey, we are always looking at technology and how technology can enhance gameplay experiences. It's not technology for technology's sake, it's how specifically can technology enhance a gameplay experience. So what can the Switch Pro do for you, and how can it make the games better? And then where do you apply that technology? He says, do you want to apply it on current existing hardware or platforms, or do you want to wait for the next platform? And then what's the right gameplay experience with that? There's a host of factors that goes into it, and it's something we're always looking at. And look, even if this thing was going to be announced this week, Nintendo ain't spilling those beans. They are not telling us anything. They will be as tight-lipped as humanly possible, wired shut, through the wire, Kanye West style. So on one hand, you could say this is just a bunch of company frou-frou. It's a bunch of nothing burgers. But I think if you parse through the text, it is more interesting. You know, Nintendo has talked for a while about what is a platform? And I mean, that's kind of a conversation across all the console manufacturers. When you have games on PS5 also working on PS4 Pro, also working on base PS4, and the same thing across the Xbox family of consoles, what defines a new platform, a new generation? And should Nintendo take their tech and deploy it on the current Switch, or should they wait for some bigger turnover? Well, all signs point towards Nintendo going the iterative model, kind of Apple style with the iPhone, except less frequently. You know, they released the Switch Lite for a subset of players. The Switch Pro, by all accounts, would be for a different subset of players. And it really does seem like Nintendo is just biding their time because sales are so strong and because they just announced a bunch of games. So they say, hey, you know, where do we apply the technology? When's the right time? How can we enhance gameplay experiences? But we do know that based on everything that has come out already, if this thing does have 4K upscaling and DLSS, it is going to be a gameplay enhancer. And I think this is Nintendo's way of saying, like, we can't tell you anything, but we're working on it and it's probably coming. I mean, the same thing they always say is we're always looking at it. We're always looking. We're always experimenting. We're always researching. We're always testing. And they're going to say that forever because, as you just saw, Miyamoto, 9 days before a new iteration was announced, said, we got nothing, dude. But I think for Bowser, Furukawa, and the entirety of Nintendo, they know how successful the Switch is, and they'd love to stay in that wheelhouse. I see a lot of people saying that, hey, the system is selling so well, why introduce anything new at all? But the Switch Pro would be for a more hardcore upscale audience, and those people would probably be double dipping. Or it would be players that are waiting for a PS5, a Series X, can't seem to get one, or don't want to fork over the full 500, aren't appealed by the game lineup, and instead want to go the Nintendo route. It kind of provides just another avenue for Nintendo to amass an audience. I don't think it really is something that is like shooting their shot too early, especially because it would be very iterative. We can go back and forth on what exactly it will do and how much of a leap it'll actually be. But let's not speculate on any of that. Let's just focus on what Doug Bowser did say. And, you know, in some ways, it's not very illuminating at all. But then again, Nintendo doesn't ever like to show their hands. So now's your chance to get in on the comments and let me know, when do you think this thing is getting announced? Because I still believe it is very real and it is very much happening. It's just, when do they want to kind of play that ace? Is the Switch Pro coming soon, June or July, or is it going to be saved for a fall announcement? Or some of you probably think 2022, and some of you probably think it's never happening. So get in on the comments down below. Let me know your prediction. And with that, my friends, a nice, good weekend. Wario, hope you guys are all having an awesome time out there. I'm going to go chill with my grandparents, all right? We're celebrating my mom's birthday, so thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I love you guys a lot. I'll see you back on Monday for Good Morning Mario. And until then, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Hopefully you found the video fun. And until next time, SwitchForce out.